Greetings, horror fans. Welcome to the Goosebumps panel here at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival. I am your moderator, Todd the Horror Nerd, and let's give all of you a round of applause for being here today for our Goosebumps panel. So, no one wants to hear what I have to say, so without further ado, let's bring everybody on stage. Let's welcome Kathryn Long. Bladon, Ben. Amos Crawley. And I already told her that I'm totally going to butcher her name, so she'll forgive me in advance. Annick Obonsawin. All right, welcome everybody. I, for one, I'm just a fan at heart who gets to do some cool stuff, so I'm honored to be here with you. Thank you for being a part of my formative horror years. I truly appreciate you. So, with that, we'll get right into it. So I have some questions of my own, and then we'll turn it over. We've got a great crowd here today. So we'll go right down the line. And do you remember what your audition was like? And did you know at the time which story or character you would be playing?
If my memory serves me right, I did Return of the Mummy first. And I guess they saw that I was very tiny and that I could take direction. And they got me to audition for playing Slappy. I did not know exactly what I was getting myself into, but they did have a teacher there or an instructor that would guide me into miming and clown work. I guess they said, well, she's tiny, she can do the clown work, and she can take direction, and so I was hired, and before I knew it, I was getting a mask made, and I kind of figured then, wow, I'm really getting into something special and big and scary, and yeah, it was amazing.
For the record, it haunts my nightmares to this day.
Thank you.
So, great, thanks.
I'm so glad.
I think it was a pretty standard audition process. Kathryn and I were in the first episode, so we didn't actually know that much about it yet. But I had known, I was a big fan of the Fear Street books, the slightly older Arlington books, so I was excited about that aspect of it. But we didn't really know too much about those books until we came around to do the second one.
Okay, so my story is a little simple because I wasn't in the original show. I was in the second of the newer movies with Jack Black. And I basically just got a call because the guy who was doing special effects is the guy that I worked with. And he has my wife got sound so he's like, he just texted me and said, hey, you have any Goosebumps for me? And I was like, sure. And that's about it. I remember going to the fitting and the guy was like, you were about 5 inches shorter than you wanted to be. But you got a special effects guy that says you're a good actor, so I'm gonna take your word for it.
Very good. Yeah.
That sounds like a fun audition. That sounds actually fun.
No pressure.
I think I barely remember it. It was, I think like Amos said, it was a pretty standard audition. We would just go to the casting call, and I remember the callback, because I remember being excited that I got called back. But we didn't know which episode, like we didn't know it was going to be the Haunted Mask. We just knew it was for the pilot of the pilot of Goosebumps. But I don't think they had maybe chosen which episode, or didn't tell us at the audition. I forget reading lines or whatnot, but I remember seeing some faces there. I think Sabrina, like the girl who played Sabrina, was there at the callback. I think I remember correctly, Kathryn Short was there. But yeah, very, very fuzzy memory of the audition process, yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you. Now, Kathryn, we'll start on that end. What was the atmosphere like on set? Was it fun? Was it creepy? Was it a mix of both? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, no, the atmosphere on set was great. They had a very kid-friendly crew, I remember. Everyone on set was really, really kind. Tim Bond, the director, was great with us. The first day we shot was the pumpkin patch scene, and so that's the day that Kathryn Short and I really got to know each other. And then, of course, we met Amos and all the other kids, and that was just, yeah, it was very, very kid-friendly the whole time. I remember, I forget her name, but the costume, the wardrobe head on that set, she was Scottish, and she would always like give me hand massages at 3 in the morning when we would be filming late nights, and they were all very kind to us because we were quite young. So yeah.
And for the record, it never escapes me that there was a Kathryn Long and a Kathryn Short on set, and I'm sure it never escaped you.
I don't think that's ever going to happen again. And our spelling of our first name was the same. I remember seeing it the first day on the call sheet. My mom was like, "That's got to be a typo or something." I was like, "No, I think that's actually it." So yeah, our mom thought that was hilarious.
It is. Oh yeah, it was a blast. The scene the main scene that I was in, I don't know, have you guys seen the movie Goosebumps 2? Yeah. So the main scene was in the department store, with Slappy bringing all the monsters to life. And so yeah, I'm surrounded by all these monsters. Like I have my friend over here who's a vampire, a Dracula. Friend over here is like an undead pirate and all these other different kinds of monsters. And really funny, the department store was still open. So it's like, people would come in and they would like try to take pictures with us, and we'd have to run and hide. And no, but it was a great time.
Yeah, it was a fantastic time. I mean, if you're a certain kind of 13-year-old kid getting to run around in a graveyard at 2 o'clock in the morning and getting paid for it, it's a pretty cool experience. And everybody was great. I feel like we all got along really, really well. And I had worked with Tim a couple of times, so that was a very comfortable thing for me. And yeah, I just remember hanging out and chatting and getting to stay up late, which is a thing I can't do anymore at my age.
I feel you.
Yeah, same. During The Mummy, I know my dad was with me and he was trying to hey, Mummy is really scary. I don't want you to get scared. We're about to do a scene with it, and then I just saw him and I was just like, oh, that is awesome. So I wasn't scared at all. I thought it was amazing. And during the dummy playing Slappy, even though I wasn't technically one of the kid actors in the show, I hung out with the kids. Hayden, Blair, and I'm so sorry, I forget the other girl's name. We would always just hang out in the trailer and just be kids. And it was, again, a very, very kid-friendly set. So I only have really great memories. Yeah, I don't even know if I got my schoolwork done, but I had a great time.
That's a pretty fair trade-off, though, I would say.
Yeah, but it was great. Everybody was so nice. All the adults were amazing.
Very cool, that's great. So I realize all of you are young, pretty young, when you made the show. And when it first aired, or even now today, does it surprise you at all that it became such a prominent part of 90s pop culture?
Absolutely. I'm still blown away. I met some really amazing fans today, and I'm just like, I can't believe you're here to meet me and meet us. I think it's wonderful. I don't think, and I don't want to speak for anybody, I don't think we necessarily knew that this was going to be this massive hit. But I'm so glad it was. I'm not surprised by it. And even now, I'm going to be 42, and I'm here with all these fans, and it's just amazing. So I'm really grateful. And yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have to echo that same sentiment. It's just, that's what I get for not being original. Yeah, it's getting to do these conventions and doing podcasts and stuff and finding out how much it's meant to people has been kind of an amazing and humbling experience. I think the story that I hear the most is that Goosebumps was a big kind of entryway drug for people into the horror genre, and as everyone in this room knows, it's the most dedicated and wonderful fan base that there is. And so it's just a stroke of amazing luck to have been involved in it.
I was 40 by the time I got it. So no, I wasn't surprised by it at all.
Fair enough. Kathryn.
Yeah, basically what Amos said too. We didn't know. I was so young, and I had done a ton of theater, so I think that's why, and I was saying this to some of the people that have worked at these conventions, is that I didn't realize at the time, but I was getting cast in a lot of horror when I was young because I had the theater experience, I guess. So I ended up doing a lot of roles that were very big characters, and just the fan base has been amazing from that because they're pretty iconic episodes, and No TV like the 90s, right? They made some good TV back then. So, yeah, really blessed to have been part of that whole time in TV, I think. Yeah.
That is fantastic. Like I said, I'm just a fan who gets to do some cool stuff. I love hearing stories like that. I was a little older. I was already out of college by the time, Goosebumps came on, but I like all horror. And I had read the books when I was younger. So thank you for all those fond memories. So let's flip it over to the audience for a while because no one wants to hear what the moderator has to say. So let's take some audience questions. Anybody? Head in the back, sir, right there. Hold on, Bill. Bring the microphone.
This is for Kathryn. What did you think when you first saw the mask that you'd be wearing for the episode? What was your initial reaction to it?
Well, I had seen the cover of the book, so I had the books because we all had books as kids. It was a big thing. So I was like, wow, that's a really gross, scary looking mask. I think it wasn't until I got the cast done of my face that I realized it was actually going to be a mask that just fit my face.
Okay.
So getting the cast done of my face was really interesting, and then seeing the prototype come out when it was just all flesh tone without any, painting on it, no special effect finishings, and just putting it on for the first time and feeling it really super tight to my face and fitted was very cool. And then I think putting it on for the first time with R.L. Stine being in the room when we were in the trailer on day one was really fun. And there's a photo of me with him in the trailer on my table, and that is the actual first time I really had it on for real. First day with R.L. Stine there, which was very, very fun. I felt very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
All right. We'll come right up front in here. Second.
So do any of you keep in touch with any other cast members of the show? Is there a pretty tight-knit community?
Me and Amos go to Home Sense every weekend.
I have so many of those buckets with silver birch sticks coming out. It's amazing.
I picked them out.
Well, we got together with Kathryn
Yeah.
virtually.
Virtually, yes, we did a podcast.
We tried to convince her to come here, but she's very shy.
Yes, very shy. But that podcast was very fun. That's the first time we'd all seen each other for 3 years. So, yeah.
And, no. Not that I don't, oh my goodness, is that a lot? Okay, no. And it's not because I don't want to, yeah, it's just Blair, who I worked on the Slappy, he played one of the kids. We did a series together for 4 years afterwards, so I did keep in touch with him, and now he's a professional adult, and he has kids and a real life adult job. But yeah, not because we don't want to, and Aiden became a superstar, and I don't even know if the other girl isn't acting anymore, but yeah, so no, but not because I didn't want to, it just, we grew up and we kind of did our own thing.
Life gets in the way.
Exactly.
Ben?
Yeah.
There you have it. There's your answer.
No, I mean, the guys, all the guys in Monsters were in Goosebumps. We all started out playing on The Walking Dead. And that's where you got your monster actor from. They went to the people from The Walking Dead. So it's yeah, I still know all those guys and see them.
Nice.
Every once in a while.
All right, next. All right, up front here.
Hi all, this is a question for everybody. Can you talk about your interactions with R.L. Stine, or if there's a specific anecdote that you can think of with working with one of the legends?
Yeah, I never got to meet him, so I kind of feel but I'd love to hear stories if you guys did. And I know Kathy.
He was like a creepy Mr. Rogers. He never spoke. He was just, yeah, it's hard to describe. On set, I think seeing R.L. Stine in the wild, you never really see the real R.L. Stine. He's still got the I've got my front on when I'm out in public, So maybe seeing him at his nephew's birthday party might be a little different, but he was on set very much like R.L. Stine, very quiet, very stoic, did not speak very much to us, did the whole half smile stuff when you would talk to him, and so, you weren't really sure, he was kind of a hard guy to read. But I think that's also him trying to keep up his persona, which he's curated very well as part of his,
I will say that back in the early days of Facebook, which you may have heard of, other than I think my mom, I think R.L. Stine was the first person to follow me on Facebook, which was kind of a weird thing, and he just said, "You've grown up." And that was it. That was the last interaction we ever had. It was like 2006 or so.
I just remember.
Yeah.
I never remember. I'm sorry, I wish my answer was more entertaining, but.
It's okay, I'm sure we'll get to something.
Yeah.
All right. All right, sir.
I actually have 2 questions. Well, one, might my question be unrelated to Goosebumps at all? It's like about voiceover and stuff. All right. Well, my question is for Annick. My question is, was there ever a time when you were doing voiceover for a TV show and you could not stop laughing?
Yeah, I'm a giggler, so yes, hi Dylan. It's like my #1 fan over there. Yes, basically everything I've worked on, it's been like, let's do it again. Nikki, stop laughing. But I think I've had the most fun working on Total Drama Island. That was a ball and a half, and my character was so insane. It was hard not to have fun and laugh. With everybody, we all had a ball. So yeah, definitely, I'm totally guilty of that. Yeah, thank you, that's a great question. Thank you, Dylan.
My one last thing, I wanted to know, do you miss being in a rock band?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, I'm working on some new music now, and I'll totally DM you about that, but yes, I do miss it, but I'm working on some new rock music, so thank you, yeah. Rock and roll, honey. Thank you.
Right here with the leather face.
This isn't so much a question, it's more about gratitude. I just want to say thank you, all of you, for just being a part of Goosebumps and for my childhood, getting me into horror. And I thought I would be scared because I was a big baby, but that broke it. So thank you for that. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be into slashers. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's awesome. How about a round of applause for Leatherface, guys? That's what this is all about, right? Horror films coming together. So I have a question. Looking back now, or even then, do you feel there were any moments that kind of pushed the limits of what was considered kids' television back then? Kathryn, let's start with you.
Well, I think we could all probably go on YouTube and find stuff immediately that would cause someone to be canceled today, like as a writer or even a producer. I think definitely there's a lot more careful writing today for children. I mean, not in Goosebumps, but I did an episode of Forever Night that was very, very questionable writing for children. I had to have special handler on set for it and everything. So, and we still did it. I don't know how that happened, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you may not get today in terms of writing for kids or whatnot that might have happened on Nickelodeon or Disney or other things back then. I think we can all find in our minds some things that come to mind, but I would say they're more careful now with how they curate things for kids. Yeah.
And I think too, the way the rules when it comes to how much time the actors are getting to go to school. Back when I was doing it, it was like get them to just do an hour, and just because it was so hard for us, we were probably all ADHD and working on a show. I don't speak for you guys, but at least the people I work with, and school was really hard to get in, and so I think there are a lot more rules, especially about working nights. Because I think we all have experience. We were working nights, and but not just one night. It'd be quite a few nights where you get to set at 7 o'clock and you leave at 8 in the morning, right? And we're 10 or 11 years old. Another thing with Slappy that I don't even know if we would do today is I had a fighting scene with a little person who is like a bodybuilder, and I was 11. And it was choreographed, and I'm thinking, is this like normal? And I got punched in the nose, there was blood everywhere, I thought it was the coolest thing. And so again, I don't even know if they would do that today, but I'm glad I got to experience it because it was awesome. And I think we're a little too safe now, but that's another conversation. So yeah, but I was not.
Yeah, I mean, in the 90s, we were still riding our bikes until the lights came on
Yeah.
the street. We didn't have cell
Yes.
phones. We didn't have like iPhone 10s. Our parents didn't know where we were. I mean, if they knew, they would have been mortified.
And
I think it's such a huge cultural shift in the sense that I don't know who here has kids or like, but my kids don't watch TV shows. They watch YouTubers. Like the entire like narrative structure or whatever we're talking about pushing envelopes. So it seems to be, and I'm not saying it's better or worse, but it's just different now, which is why I forced my kids to watch old episodes of things that I was in.
same here. Same here. So Ben, I don't want you to feel left out, right? So I have sort of a different question.
I was gonna say,
Go ahead.
have you ever met a Walking Dead fan? Because there was the ones with children will tell you like, it's like, oh yeah, I love The Walking Dead. Me and my child watch it. She's 6. And so I don't think people like that are really worried about pushing the envelope on kid shows.
No, not at all. I sort of meant like back then, right? You know, today nothing surprises me
Right.
anymore. When people say, "Oh, I let my 6-year-old watch The Exorcist," I'm like, okay.
Okay, what was your next question?
So my question is, for you, what was it like stepping into a modern day sort of new version of a classic franchise?
It was great. I mean, I will be completely honest. I didn't know much about Goosebumps. I got the general idea. You know, I had the general idea of it. I'd seen a couple of things here and there. But yeah, I knew that when they asked me, the guy called me and said, "Do you want to be the Goosebumps mummy?" And I was like, "Yeah, this would be great because I mean, a lot of people relate to this. A lot of people connect to it. It has a great fan base. So yeah, I was really excited."
Very cool. All right, I have one more, and then we'll go back to the audience. So how did, and Annick, I'll start here on the end. How did appearing on Goosebumps affect your career going forward?
No, I mean, Return of the Mummy got me Return of the Dummy. So that was cool. But you know, having Goosebumps on your resume, even though it was awesome, it didn't mean I didn't have to audition for anything anymore. I was just being cast. Like, you still had to go for auditions, but I think it was just cooler that I got to flex. I can't believe it, right? So it was more for me. But I have to say, it probably did help my career in ways that I'm not even aware of. But yeah, it was like, but as an actor, you're kind of like, okay, that's done. I need to get on to the next project, right? So, yeah.
Have you ever had like a really good hot sauce where you taste it at first and it's not so bad, and then there's like a slow burn, and about 10 minutes later the heat really comes on and it's awesome? That's what Goosebumps has been, right? Because we did this and we were kids and it was on TV and it was great, it was fun. And then we flash forward 25 or so years and all of a sudden we have a global pandemic, and all of a sudden podcasts are reaching out and things like this start to happen, and you see old friends that you haven't seen in 30 years, and so it's like a time release reward. At least that's what it has been for me.
I love that answer. That was cool. I like the hot sauce in that.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool, like growing up, I was just telling Amos, like in auditions, I kept hearing this name. Have you worked with Amos? Have you worked with Amos? 30-something years later, I just got to know him, right? So, and yeah, so it's a small circle, but it was cool. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, remind me of the original question again. Just say one more
It was
time.
how did appearing on Goosebumps affect your career going forward?
Oh yeah, well my career was really short. I did film for a really short time, but I mean Goosebumps really kind of did launch me into a lot of casting directors knew who I was after that. I think for Fox it was like the highest rated kids primetime release. So from an external perspective, like I couldn't go in public in my hometown for a while. Like I would get mobbed at the supermarket and I would get mobbed at the skating rink. I couldn't go to like the YMCA anymore. So for a while it was a little bit isolating because I would be like scared to go out and do things. I got teased and bullied at school pretty bad. I had to move schools because it wasn't a thing to be like a celebrity, you know, in your school back then. So it was not very nice actually. So I moved schools and had a much better experience. But yeah, I mean, I ended up getting nominated for a Gemini for that performance, so which is like a Canadian Emmy. So that was fun, and so I got to go to some fun awards ceremony in a limo, and my agent was very happy with that, and I got to do some more shows after. So yeah, for me, it was a great thing in my short career, probably the biggest highlight for sure of my youth, because I was only in TV until I was around 15, so yeah.
So Kathryn, that's interesting that you brought that up because that was going to kind of be a follow-up. Like as a child actor, how did your peers react to that, right? Because now all of a sudden you're on TV, you know, and it's like you just go back to school like nothing happened. So I'm sorry that happened to you.
Oh, it's good. I learned what frenemies were. You know, you think you have friends and they're actually frenemies. I was like, oh, you know, you're like 12, you're barely out of middle school, and you think, oh, well, these people, these friends like me, and they only just like you because of, you know, the objectivity of what they can get from you in terms of, oh, I'm friends with her, but they actually aren't nice to you. So I learned a lot about, you know, interpersonal relations.
Annick, how about you?
I remember being in church, and when my family used to go to church, and all I hear is, she's on Goosebumps, no, she's on Goosebumps, no. And it was literally that for 5 minutes until I said, I'm on both, okay? Listen to God, please, or something. Like, I had a very same experience. I developed a bit of paranoia because I was like, why are people looking at me? Do I have something on my face? Am I, you know? So, and I also got bullied a lot to the point that I had to change schools 3 times. So, but again, I'm kind of glad it happened. So it's a freaking weird thing, man, because you're doing something usually adults do, but you're so proud of it, you're so happy with it, and then you go to school and everyone hates you. And you know, what did I do? Because they think your shit, you're like, oh, you think your shit don't stink because you're in Goosebumps. No, I just like acting and I got a part and it was really fun. So it kind of forces you to get a really strong backbone at a young age and kind of figure out yourself and your character and who you are and how you see other people and who you want in your life, right? So can't speak for everybody, but I was totally bullied a lot. And but I didn't care, and my parents would be like, you sure you want to still do this? I'm like, I'm not going to quit my dream, because kids can't, you know. Sarah's great at math. Every time she does something in math, I'm applauding her, so why can't she applaud me for doing something I love, right? So, yeah, but it just makes you, it builds your character, you know, so.
Good for you.
Thank you, honey.
Yes.
I too was mercilessly bullied, but I don't think it's because I was on TV. I think it was because I was bad at sports and liked to read. I think I was actually a little more insulated from it. I come from a family of performers that goes back a couple of generations, so it was a world that I think was just a little bit more normalized for me. I also went to like an arts high school where I was far from the only person who was working. Yeah, I you know, it's a long conversation about whether kids should have jobs or not, and I have lots of nuanced and non-nuanced opinions about it, but I sit in a room like this, and again, you can't be anything but grateful for it, right?
Fantastic. All right, we have a few more minutes, so let's go back to the audience. Any additional questions? Because I could go on and on. Right there, sir.
Hi there, this is for all you guys. Such as like actors and performers that you are, I'm just curious, like what person or what piece of music or what piece of art like inspired you all to get into acting and start doing this?
Who wants to go first? Okay, I'll go
I
first.
vote for you.
Sesame Street. I told my parents at 4 years old, I want to And every time there was a camera in front of me, I'd be like, just like showing off. And I was also hugely inspired by, inspired by music and just the performing arts. My father was an artist and a singer and an actor, but he's like, pay bills or go into the arts. So he became deputy minister of the provincial government. Whereas I was like, no, I want to do art. So they were very against it for a very long time, but it was really the Muppets, Sesame Street, and which was a dream because I got to be on Sherry Lewis and Lunchhouse Play Along for 3 seasons.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, man, it was amazing. It was amazing. So, like, it did inspire me. And then I did Goosebumps, right? Total opposite. So, it was inspiring. Yeah, but to answer your question simply, Sesame Street and Muppets, baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because my parents were performers, I kind of fell into it. I think that the first thing I ever did was like my mom couldn't find a babysitter and brought me to an audition and they said, oh, we need a kid. So I actually didn't really take it very seriously or think about it very much until I was a teenager. And then I went to see a production. I apologize in advance. This is a very pretentious answer. I'm very sorry. I went to see a production of Waiting for Godot at the Stratford Festival in Ontario, starring Tom McCamus and Stephen Ouimet, and it blew me away. I was like 13 or 14, 15, something in there.
I was going to say, you were only 6 years old.
Yeah. and I remember sitting there and actually making the decision in that moment of like, oh, this thing that I've been doing, that's this sort of game, I think I want to actually learn what the mechanics of it are and how it actually works. So it's a boring answer, but it's the truth.
Cool.
Okay, I mean, I just have an interesting answer to that question because I didn't become an actor until I was 40. I'm 53 now. And so but I've always been a fan of movies, TV. My favorite genre was sci-fi. With supernatural stuff and horror being a close second. And I didn't even think I could be an actor. That's what people in LA and New York did. And I didn't see myself living in New York. So, and then like, I was going through some life changes about 2012 and needed to reinvent myself. And that's when the film industry came to Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I somebody convinced me to try out for The Walking Dead. And I did. And like all of a sudden I had people like Greg Nicotero telling me I had a good look, I made a great monster, blah, blah, blah. And I had all these LA people, LA special effects makeup artists fighting over me. This one lady, like, I went to eat breakfast, she slammed her makeup, she slammed her hand down on my table, she's like, I'm doing your makeup today.
Oh, okay.
Nobody else.
Very.
And I was like,
Wow.
okay. so I was just like, hey, people seem to like me at this. So I'm just gonna keep going with it. But to answer your question, like I had already had a whole bunch of TV and movies full inspiration from by the time I fell into it.
Oh, wow.
So, and I always used to sing for a hardcore punk band. So.
Wow.
I've always been inspired by music.
Nice.
I think for me it was theater because I was attracted to dance and theater first. So I remember seeing Swan Lake when I was 7 and decided that that's what I wanted to do. So I got into theater quite young and dance. But then, I don't know if any of you remember Mr. Dress Up. It's an old Canadian TV show with Ernie Combs.
The Canadian version of
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
which I feel like Fred Penner was like a little bit more of a Mr. Rogers, but he lived in a tree, which is very Canadian. So, but Ernie Combs was Mr. Dress Up, and I would always get up and watch that show, and I thought, oh, if I was going to be on TV, that's who I want to be with, and I thought that was really fun. So I thought maybe there was a way of merging the two somehow. And ironically, I did. I ended up being cast much later when I was in theater. I was 19. I got to work with Ernie in a theater production of Peter Pan. And so I got to finally work with him eventually in my life. But I think it was, for me, mostly theater and dance that got me into the world of performing. And I still am in that world now. That's what I left film for, so I'm still there.
Nice.
I just wanted to add something. I get a lot like, and I don't want to speak for you guys, but I get a lot like, so your parents forced you to do this. They wanted to. And for me at least, my parents literally did everything for me not to succeed in this industry. Like, They did not want, because they were adults. They understood that this is a business, this is an industry, and I just wanted to play. So they literally did everything they could to get this out of my head until they said there was an open audition and anybody could go. So they're like, just get her to go. She'll understand what rejection feels like, and she'll never want to do this again. And I got the lead. So, and that's when they were like, well, maybe there's something to this, but I was always told, whenever you want to quit, you can quit. And there are definitely children in this industry who are put in this industry because of their families and their parents. But I just didn't have that experience. I was just always so passionate about it. So I don't want to speak for you guys, but I kind of get the sense that you're
My brother was a helicopter parent, for sure. But I mean, I still liked being in film, but I think she liked the lifestyle a little more than I did. So I experienced a little bit of that. But she was less chill about me leaving film. But I think at the end you have to pursue what you want to do, even if you aren't necessarily like a lot of people. I find there's a lot of advice given out to kids like, you should pursue what you're the best at. And maybe what you're the best at isn't actually what you love the most. And so you actually need to follow your bliss in your heart. And if you're really good at doing that, you're going to find success in that. So I think there's a double mindset there, but I liked both, thankfully. And I think I was probably better at film, and it came a lot easier to me. But yeah, my mother definitely loved the lifestyle. And frat parties and all the other things.
It's okay. It's a great life. It's a fun lifestyle. My mom had a great time.
It's a little fast-paced. Theater's a little more chill. So.
I was a punk rock kid. My parents were just happy when I was in anything. But I mean, when I discovered acting, when I discovered that I could do this and people liked me with it and stuff, it actually gave me a focus and a clarity that I had never had before. So all of a sudden I had something to shoot for. I had something I wasn't just going through the motion of trying to pay bills. You know, I had something to strive for. It's like,
and
okay,
you're
I'm
so
here.
good at what you do. Isn't he amazing? I was like stunned when I met him the first time. I was like, oh my gosh, it's The Walking Dead. I was just like freaking out.
But you know, something it's like, okay, I'm here. What do I have to do to get up here? And having that to work for gave me like a pleasure I've never had in my life. So.
That is awesome.
But my parents, yeah, they love it.
Cool. Well, unfortunately, we are just about out of time. So, Kathryn, I'm going to start with you. Any last words you'd like to share with the fans as we wrap it up?
Just thanks so much for sticking with us all these years. I hear so many of you say, like, you were my childhood. I'm like, I was my childhood too. But we just didn't know we were having like the same experience. But yeah, thank you so much for coming out and for introducing yourselves and sharing your photos and bringing like the gifts or things you've made. And yeah, it's really great to meet everyone and see how much the show has meant to you over the years.
Thank you for including me in this family. These guys are like, you know, I was gonna say they were all in the original series and I played a mommy for like 30 seconds.
We love you, Ben.
And it's like, you know, I'm a creature actor though, so you can call me, I got all kinds of creature friends on my table when I come see them. But thank you for accepting me in this family, because I kind of felt like a fraud when I first started doing it. But yeah, you guys are great.
Yeah, it is. It's just a thank you. It's just I mean, you're all sitting here, and that's amazing. So thank you.
It's my first convention, and I'm having the time. Jeez Louise. I am having the time of my life, and I just can't believe y'all are here to meet us. So, and obviously other people, but it's just amazing, and exactly what they said. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and it's so lovely to meet all of you.
Awesome. See on that note. And so just from my standpoint, like I said, I'm really just a fan at heart. Thank you for being a part of our lives and a part of our childhood and just coming out here and letting us interact with you. It really is a thrill for me to get to meet everybody that I've admired all these years. Thank you. How about a round of applause for our Goosebumps cast, everybody? Thank you for sticking around. I'm Todd the Horror. Thanks for hanging out at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival. Enjoy the rest of the convention. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.